All right, this video is going to go over the perimeter and area of sectors. Sectors are just a pizza slice, part of the total circle. All right, so I just got a couple examples for you here, and maybe we'll start with area. So on the MCA, they give you these formulas for area and circumference. Circumference is really like perimeter, all right, but these are just for circles. Okay, so we just got to adapt them for the sector. So what I'm going to start with here is I'm going to do the area of the whole circle. So I'm going to do the area of the circle. And in this case, it's just going to be pi times radius squared. All right, so in this case, that would be 4 squared, which is 16 times pi. So we have 16 pi for our area. Okay, and so I'm going to have you pause the video and see if you can figure out what would be the area of the sector then. If the whole circle is 16 pi, what would be the sector? Okay, and the answer to that is you have to take a fraction of the total. So if the total area is 16 pi, then the area of our little sector is, in this case, a fourth. This is 90 degrees, so that's a fourth of the total, right? So like there's 360 degrees total in here, and we have 1/4 of that, right? So we have like 90 out of 360, which is 1/4. And we're going to take that times the 16 pi, because we have 1/4 of the total. So the area of the sector ends up being 1/4 times 16 pi, or 1/4 of 16 pi. So you're kind of just dividing by 4 here, essentially. So you end up with 4 pi is the area of sector. Okay, and so as far as the perimeter goes, so the perimeter is kind of goofy, but I think we're going to do all the way around. So we're going to do like this, this, and then this right here. All right, so we're going to do like if you were building fence around that whole shape, how much would that be? All right, and so we got to find the perimeter of the whole circle and then do a very similar thing as we're down here. So I'm going to do the perimeter of the circle is the circumference. So it's 2 times pi times radius of 4. So I believe that that's 8 pi. All right, and then the perimeter of the sector is a similar argument. It's just a fourth, right? We have a fourth of the whole thing. Even visually, if you look, this is about a fourth of the whole thing. And that comes from the 90 degrees. So we do like the 90 divided by 360, which is a fourth again, times 8 pi. So basically, we're going to have 1/4 of 8 pi. And that's going to get us 2 pi. Okay, so this little part is 2 pi right there. Okay, so our total perimeter is this 2 pi plus 4 for this part, radius plus another 4. So basically it's 2 pi plus 8. And I'm just going to leave it that way. You could, obviously do the decimal or whatever, but oftentimes they'll just leave their answer choices like that. Okay, so our area was a fourth of the total, and the perimeter was kind of a fourth, but then we also had to add in these radiuses. Okay, so I got one more picture for you. See if you can find the perimeter and area of this. This is called a sector. I guess you don't really got to know that name, but that's what we're doing here. So pause the video, see if you can find the perimeter and area here. Okay, so for area, it's just 1/6 of the total. We have 60 out of 360. So that's like 1/6 of the total, right? Remember, this is 360 all the way around, and 60 degrees is a sixth of that. So I'm going to find the total area and then do a sixth of it. So the area of the whole circle would be pi radius squared. So it would be pi times 3 squared. So that's 9 pi. And then the area of the sector is, I'm just going to take this fraction, 1/6 times 9 pi. Okay, and if we clean that up, that would be like 9 pi divided by 6, essentially. So that would be like 3/2 pi. I'm going to leave it that way, right? And that is the area of that sector. Okay, so the perimeter, very, very similar. I'm going to do a sixth of the total. So the perimeter of the circle would be 2 times pi times radius. And keep in mind, this one is just pi times diameter. So the diameter is really 6. So you could either do 6 times pi or 2 times pi times 3 for radius. But either way, you're going to get 6 pi. Okay, and then we don't have the whole thing. So the perimeter of that little sector, this part right up here, is 1/6 of this 6 pi. So I'm going to take 1/6, this fraction here, times 6 pi. It's really like dividing by 6. So we end up with just pi. And then this is pi, about 3. And then this one's 3, and this one's also 3. So it's going to be 3 plus 3 plus pi. So that's going to be 6 plus pi is the total perimeter of that green pizza slice called the sector. Okay, so just kind of a summary is basically you do, whether it's perimeter or area, you do the whole thing first and then take it times whatever fraction you have, which will be some amount out of 360. Right, whatever the degrees are here, it'll be that out of 360. Make it a fraction and multiply it by the total area or the total perimeter. All right, that's all I got. Thanks for watching.